Canadian Member of Parliament Charlie Angus has sharply criticized the Trump administration, drawing comparisons to criminal gangs and Russian President Vladimir Putin. His vocal condemnation extends to Trump's controversial suggestions about Canada's future, including becoming the 51st U.S. state. This growing tension has led to a significant backlash, including a national boycott of American products and travel. Charlie Angus, a prominent Canadian Member of Parliament, has been outspoken in his criticism of former U.S. President Donald Trump and his administration. In a recent speech, Angus called Trump and his associates a criminal gang, drawing disturbing parallels between their actions and the autocratic practices of Russian President Vladimir Putin. His message was clear: the situation was dire and required urgent attention. Angus emphasized that Canadians should understand the gravity of the political environment next door, saying, "We are dealing with a regime next door to us that is ignoring international law." He strongly asserted that Canadians must take this threat seriously and stand firm in their nation's sovereignty. One of the more alarming proposals made by Trump was the suggestion that Canada should join the United States as the 51st state, a notion that was met with swift condemnation from both political leaders and the public. Angus, along with others, expressed unwavering support for Canada's independence and criticized the U.S. administration's apparent disregard for Canada's sovereignty. As the 60th anniversary of Canada's flag approached, Angus encouraged Canadians to reflect on the profound meaning of the symbol. To him, the Canadian flag represented openness, inclusivity, and unity, values that he believed were being undermined by figures like Donald Trump and other political leaders who promoted divisive rhetoric. He urged Canadians to stand united in the face of external pressures, particularly those that threaten the country's independent identity. In the wake of growing tensions between Canada and the U.S., a notable movement emerged: a nationwide boycott of American products and travel. This movement gained significant traction after President Trump imposed a 25% import tariff on Canadian goods, excluding energy products, which faced a lower 10% tariff. The boycott has resonated with many Canadians, with over 62,000 pledging their support for the cause. Former Prime Minister Kim Campbell, as well as several artists and activists, have publicly endorsed the movement, emphasizing the importance of solidarity and national pride. The impact of the boycott on the U.S. economy has been significant. Tourism and the alcohol industry, two sectors heavily reliant on Canadian consumers, have been particularly affected. In 2024, nearly 20.4 million Canadians visited the U.S., contributing over $2.5 billion to the economy and supporting thousands of American jobs. A 10% reduction in Canadian travel could result in a loss of $2.1 billion in spending and the potential elimination of thousands of jobs. Already, major travel agencies in Canada, such as Flight Centre, reported an uptick in cancellations for U.S. vacations, with many choosing to visit alternative destinations instead. As a form of retaliation against U.S. tariffs, several Canadian provinces, Quebec, Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland, and Labrador, among others, have removed American alcoholic beverages from their liquor store shelves. This targeted response focused on U.S. states with Republican leadership, including Texas, a state that has been a vocal supporter of Trump's policies. This removal has posed a significant challenge to U.S. alcohol producers, particularly those who depend on Canadian markets for sales. The bourbon industry in Kentucky, responsible for producing a significant share of the world's bourbon, has already started feeling the effects of the boycott. In the face of these growing tensions, Canadian leaders, including Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, have firmly rejected the idea of annexation. When Trump suggested that Canada could join the U.S. as the 51st state, Trudeau dismissed it as an absurd notion, stating, "There's not a snowball's chance in hell of such an event happening." Leaders from both conservative and progressive parties have come together to reaffirm Canada's sovereignty and independence. Canada's economic relationship with the U.S. is also a central factor in the ongoing diplomatic struggle. The U.S. relies heavily on Canada for natural resources, including oil, gas, and minerals. However, as tensions rise, many are questioning whether these resources could be leveraged as part of Trump's broader political strategy to exert more control over Canada's economy. Despite the challenges, Canadian leaders remain resolute in protecting their country's autonomy while navigating the complex economic interdependence between the two nations. The ongoing situation reflects a critical moment in the shared history of the United States and Canada,